So I'm Tom, and I'm the product manager at Chucklefish. I handle mostly developer relations with games that we support that are outside of our studio. So development teams which work all over the world and need help or resources that we've got through our publishing arrangements with them. I think first and foremost we look for games that we like. We are all gamers ourselves, and we play a lot of games. And when we find a game that really resonates with us personally, then we, if it's a situation where we think the game could benefit from the resources we've got, we'll see if it's a good match. We'll see what the game needs and say, this is what we can do, this is what we have. Do you think that collaborating would help get your game to more people? It's not necessarily a direct management situation. Like we don't move in and tell developers how to make their game or set any kind of deadlines or any kind of restrictions on what they can do. It's more we find teams that we trust, projects we trust, and then we support that developer's vision to make sure it's fully realized. I mean, we've done some physical releases for our games, but we've partnered with other manufacturers and other companies in the past when we've done that. We're not against physical publishing. It's a case-by-case basis, and physical copies aren't necessarily right for every title. So if it's something we think is going to be the best choice for the title, it's something we'd recommend. But all of these decisions always come down to the developer, and I mean we always let them steer the ship and just kind of try to help provide the navigation support, but they can drive it wherever they want to go with it. The first game we've got is Inmost, which is a puzzle platformer. It's a horror-themed puzzle platformer, very atmospheric, very spooky, as you saw when you played it a few minutes ago. It's a team based out of Lithuania, and they actually came over for the event. They're wandering around here. I don't see them right now, but they've been around keeping an eye on it and getting feedback from players this weekend. Next down the line, we've got Eastward. This is a team based in China. It's sort of a quirky, I want to say Undertale type, Earthbound type humor action RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world, and you kind of discover what's happened to the world and what's going on as you talk to characters and kind of progress and uncover more of what's going on in the game. Next down the line is Pathway, which is made by Robotality. Their studio is based in Germany. So a real international lineup. You got Lithuania, China, Germany. These guys, this is their follow-up to a game they made previously called Halfway. And it's a real, deep turn-based strategy game, kind of in the vein of XCOM. In fact, XCOM meets Indiana Jones is sort of the pitch for this one. Thematically, you're a treasure hunter. You assemble a team of other adventurers, and you're going through temples and pyramids, finding treasure and fighting Nazis. It's really gorgeous. I know this is audio, so I can't speak specifically, but the dynamic shadows based on the lighting is custom tech. I don't think I've ever seen it in any game before. So they've got these pixelated 2D sprites which cast 3D shadows in 3D space, and it's hard to explain without seeing it, but the effect is visually stunning, and the game is fantastic. It's been extremely well received this weekend. Last on the list is Time Spinner, which you got a chance to take a look at too. That's a Metroidvania, and it plays a lot like mechanically. I feel like the combat's feels like Mega Man, like the jumping and the combat is very Mega Man-esque, but the visual style is very Symphony of the Night, and you get a traditional Castlevania type map that you're uncovering, and a bunch of gating where you're discovering tools and abilities that kind of open up more places in the world and allow you to more fully explore what's going on and kind of, expand out as you go. It's got a really, really tight power progression. As you go through, you really feel like you're gaining more abilities and are uncovering new things continuously. It's our follow-up to our first game, Starbound. It's called Wargroove, and Wargroove is a simple turn-based tactics game, very much in the vein of Advance Wars. So it's got the army building elements where you recruit units to counter your opponent's army and try to basically overcome the units combinations that they've got with the unit combinations that you recruit. The biggest difference between kind of the traditional Advance Wars, Fire Emblem type simple strategy formula is that we're shipping this game with complete custom tools to create your own maps, design your own campaigns, design and write your own cutscenes, and share all of this custom content online with other players and browse custom content that other players have made. So we're hoping we're really trying to build a robust package in a complete game, but if players really dig deep and finish everything we've got to offer, we're hoping there'll just be an endless amount of content that they can tear through from community-made stuff. I mean, I think the custom tools, like I said, there's a lot of technical stuff, I think, that is new to the genre, like online play, asynchronous online play is a big feature of this, I think. The ability to play multiple games with people remotely, but not necessarily in real time. So you could take a turn and then put it to your buddy, and then go and play another game with somebody else, and your buddy 2 weeks later can take his turn and it'll come back to you. So you could have a game going for a year, but you don't have to keep your game running on your monitor for a full year, and not be afraid if you minimize it, you're going to lose everything or anything like that. I would say what we're proudest of probably is the custom content tools. I mean, that was really an important thing for us from the beginning. Like I mentioned, Starbound, which was very, very rooted in community-made content and modding. And it's something that was really important to us to try to carry over into this, and we've been really, really happy with how it's come together. Overall, we just want them to have a charming experience. Not to say that every game is like Inmost, for example, is a horror game, and not to say every game is kind of a feel-good game necessarily, but something where they feel like they've had a unique experience and it's memorable, but it leaves a positive impression with them. Like I said, I mean, our primary focus is just making games that we like to play, and that's our measure of quality. We don't look at projected sales numbers or break it down in any kind of like target markets or anything like that. At the end of the day, if we play it and we enjoy it, that's what we're aiming to achieve with everything we work with. We've got quite a few games in the pipeline on the publishing side. There's a few games we've announced which are a little ways out. And in-house, we're working on a project called Witchbrook, which is also quite a ways out, but it's been exciting to work on. It's our third project, our third in-house project, and every game we've made in-house is really, really different. Starbound was a space sandbox adventure, so it was sort of, like a block building game. You could get real creative and designing your own houses and building bases and kind of customizing the content in the world. This is a strategy game, and Witchbrook is an RPG set in a magic school where you're a wizard in training. You form relationships with other students and kind of power up and learn how to be a better wizard. Yeah. Awesome. Or witch. Awesome.